This ribbon-cutting ceremony in September 2014 marked the beginning of a new era for BC's cranberry industry.
Today we're here to have the grand opening for the BC Cranberry Research Farm. We've been at it for 2 years and we're finally to the point where most of the planting is done, the varieties are identified, and we're ready to march forward with research.
Yeah, we're really proud of this, first of its kind in Canada and one of only 4 in North America and the world. It's exciting to see it finally open and to be able to share it with all the growing community, but it's also truly rewarding to come to fruition a vision that started quite a while back.
The open house gave cranberry growers and visitors an opportunity to get a tour of the research farm and learn how it will benefit the BC cranberry industry.
We're right here in Delta, not too far off 99, and this farm was, an opportunity was given for the growers to be able to purchase this place, and what we've done is we've leveled the fields and built dikes and roughed the fields in, and then in the last 2 years we've put the infrastructure in, the main drains, irrigation. Property-wise, we're looking at about 20 acres. We have 5 fields in place. They're all about 100 feet wide and 1,000 feet long. We've got 1 reservoir on the eastern edge, and that provides all the water for irrigation and recapturing drainage from this whole farm.
The main goal for the research farm is to increase the productivity of BC's cranberry industry.
Our average yield in BC is not where it should be. So that's going to be the main component is variety trials and yield.
Kim Patton of Washington State University is leading the research program. He runs the Cranberry Research Station in Long Beach, Washington.
Well, we are growing varieties now that were bred and released in the 50s. And so that's 60, 70 years of difference in terms of genetics. And so these are, I think, have a lot more potential in terms of fruit quality, in terms of yield, in terms of resistance to diseases.
Many of the cranberry varieties being tested here were provided by Rutgers University in New Jersey, where Dr. Nick Vorsa is a leading cranberry researcher.
The vertical shoots produce the flower buds that produce the fruit. And one of the critical things that we're looking for is that when a shoot has produced fruit, that it produces flower buds for next year's crop. What we're trying to do here is identify varieties that are the best suited for British Columbia growing conditions, including the soils and the climate. We are testing the varieties here that have been selected from large populations, from crosses that we made in some cases 2 decades ago. And they're being further evaluated here to see how well suited they are for the growers here in British Columbia.
The cranberry varieties being tested here are the top prospects from research programs across North America. But to have scientific confidence in the results here, the researchers have had to be very careful about where the different varieties are planted.
I think first is to sort of establish the plantings and establish them in a way that allows you to put in replicated trials across the most important varieties and the most important conditions. And whether it's irrigation rates or irrigation methods or fertilizer trials, you need to have the ability to replicate it. You can't make a scientific inference just on one block in one site, one little square.
Even in the bed here, the environment can be different from the edge to the middle. So one of the principal methods we use is by replication. So we have varieties here replicated in different plots. Let's say we have 10 varieties, we will have 4 plots of each variety out there that are randomly assigned to a spot. So this way we can essentially partition out the variation due to environment versus to the variety. So replication is the key to what we're doing here, and of course you can't do that in a grower's field.
While increasing productivity is a major goal, it's also important that growers produce the varieties that have the highest market demand.
And it's also a changing market. The market right now is for craisins, and how do these adapt to the craisin market?
And so what we're looking for are larger fruit that are more spherical or round in shape. In some cases, where we used to look for the highest color possible, we're actually looking for a window or a range of color in the mid-range to make the best products.
These cranberry fields will come into full production next year, and that's when the researchers will be able to begin looking at results.
So what we'll be doing prior to harvest is a number of researchers will be coming out and looking at a number of different metrics, maybe berry size, berry weight, berry color, and looking at those amongst the different varieties.
It will take a minimum of 3 to 5 years for the researchers to get a sense of which varieties are the best producers here in BC. And they'll be able to compare the results to similar trials done at other research farms.
What's nice about this is that these trials are replicated in Washington, in Oregon, in Wisconsin, Massachusetts, Rutgers. So, you know, what you're trying to get a bigger picture of how these will do across all of North America. And there might be some that do very well just on the West Coast versus elsewhere.
And as the research program continues, BC's cranberry growers will be able to visit the facility and see the results of the trials for themselves.
One of the things about science is that you have to provide the results to the industry. And I think what this farm does is allows growers to touch and feel and taste the results. They can go out there and they can see, wow, that's impressive. I'm going to do that.
The future of BC's cranberry industry will be heavily influenced by the research done here in Delta, and it promises to bring benefits to BC's cranberry growers for generations to come.
It's important that we keep moving forward. That's the most important thing for the future generations of our families. And if we stay stagnant, you know, we're going to fall behind. There's lots of other growing regions producing lots of good quality cranberries too. And BC, we've been leaders in the past and we want to maintain that. So this gives us that opportunity to look to the future and grow better cranberries.
Grant and I were standing on the dikes admiring these fields and how wonderful they looked and hoping our own farms could look this good. And we called it a field of dreams. And as the saying goes, if you build it, they will come. And I think that's one of the greatest rewards is we've seen the buy-in from the research community, from the grower community, and from the cranberry community at large, where a lot of people are getting excited and are starting to imagine the potential. So it's really rewarding to see all this hard work beginning to pay off and to pay dividends back to the growers.